As Nolan and Debbie prepare for an intimate moment, their brief respite is shattered by the sudden arrival of Thragg. His expression contorts with fury, and without hesitation, he launches himself at Nolan with lethal intent. However, as he advances, a horrifying sight distracts Nolan. Debbie is violently sucked into the vacuum of space. Acting on pure instinct, Nolan lunges forward, intercepting Thragg with a powerful headbutt before breaking away to rescue Debbie. He catches her just in time, cradling her in his arms as he propels them both toward an airlock. But before he can secure her safety, Thragg strikes again, slamming Nolan into the ground with bone-crushing force. With the airlock doors sliding shut, Nolan forces Debbie inside, ensuring her survival before turning his full attention to Thragg. Confused by the unprovoked attack, Nolan demands an explanation, insisting that he poses no threat. This only serves to enrage Thragg further. The Grand Regent scoffs at Nolan's ignorance and, with barely contained fury, decides to reveal the truth before ending his life. Thragg begins recounting the history of Viltrum, painting it as a utopia before its downfall following the assassination of Argal at the hands of Thetis. He explains that Argal's lineage had been concealed to protect it from enemies of the Empire. But before the heirs could be located, the Viltrumites turned on one another, engaging in a brutal civil war that purged the weak from their ranks. Thragg had emerged as the dominant force, leading their people as Grand Regent with one purpose: finding the rightful heir to Argal's throne. A vision from the past surfaces: Anissa, Craig, Thula, and Lucan kneeling before Thragg, affirming their allegiance. This moment reveals their immense age, having existed since Viltrum's ancient days, likely having been born there. But the past was marked by devastation. The Scourge virus ravaged the Viltrumite population, and Thragg had assumed that Argal's bloodline had been wiped out. With no heir in sight, he ceased his search, believing he had rightfully earned his place as ruler. As a reminder of his triumph, he kept Argal's skull by his side, a symbol of his conquest and ultimate authority. However, the truth came to light through Mark. Thragg, upon discovering Nolan's heritage, made a decisive choice. He silenced the scientist who had confirmed it, ensuring that knowledge of Nolan's royal bloodline would never spread. But to Thragg's disbelief, Nolan meets this revelation with indifference. He declares that he has no interest in ruling the Empire, caring little for Viltrumite politics. This response only fuels Thragg's rage. It is not just about lineage, it is about legacy. Thragg cannot allow Nolan or Mark to jeopardize the empire he has spent centuries shaping. With blinding speed, Thragg resumes his assault. His blows are relentless, each strike stronger than the last. Though Nolan struggles to fight back, he is quickly overwhelmed. A desperate kick momentarily forces Thragg back, but the reprieve is short-lived. Thragg unleashes a devastating flurry of punches, brutally hammering Nolan into submission. A sickening crack fills the air as a particularly vicious punch ruptures one of Nolan's eyes, causing it to burst from its socket. Thragg, standing over his broken opponent, declares that he has earned his right to rule, while Nolan has earned nothing but death. He raises his fist for the final blow, and then, unexpectedly, his arm is stopped. Craig grips Thragg's wrist with unshakable resolve. Behind him, Lucan, Thula, and Anissa stand united. The air is thick with tension as the three warriors position themselves against their former leader. Thragg, momentarily taken aback, demands to know if they intend to commit treason. Anissa challenges him, reminding him of Argal's wisdom, the very philosophy they had followed for centuries. She demands to know if the heir has truly been found. Thragg, seething with rage, confirms it but derides Nolan as weak and unworthy. The four warriors exchange glances before making their decision. In unison, they turn against Thragg. As the battle erupts, Nolan, despite his injuries, urges them to spare Thragg's life. Though shocked by his mercy, the warriors heed his command. They halt their attack and, in a display of respect, bow before him. With Thragg defeated and his wounds tended to, Nolan prepares to address the Viltrumite people. Standing before them, he acknowledges his past betrayal and their likely doubts. However, he urges them to embrace a new path, one that no longer relies on conquest and domination, but on rebuilding and strengthening from within. He recognizes that Thragg was right about Earth's importance in revitalizing their ranks, but he insists that they must evolve, adapting to the emotions and experiences they have encountered. The Viltrumites, moved by his words, unite in a resounding chant. All hail Emperor Nolan. Watching from a distance, Mark observes the ceremony, a silent witness to a monumental shift in Viltrumite history. Later, as Mark is teleported home by Cecil, he recounts the events to Eve. Cecil, to Mark's relief, expresses his acceptance of Nolan's new role. Mark, reflecting on his own journey, muses on how his life has been shaped by his powers, leading him not only to incredible battles, but also to the woman he loves. In a spontaneous moment, he attempts to propose. But before he can retrieve a ring, Eve playfully one-ups him, transmuting raw material into a radiant engagement ring before his eyes. Their expressions light up with joy as they embrace their decision. Mark and Eve are getting married. And that's the story, folks. Please, leave your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this one. See you next time.